Good evening. The City of Boston Zoning Board of Appeal hearing for August 22nd, 2024 is now in session. This hearing is being conducted in accordance with the applicable provisions of the open meeting law, including the updated provisions enacted by the legislature last year. The new law allows the board to continue its practice of holding virtual hearings until March 2025. This hearing of the board is being held remotely via the Zoom webinar event platform. This hearing is also being recorded. In order to ensure this hearing of the board is open to the public, members of the public may access this hearing through telephone and video conferencing. The information for connecting to this hearing is listed on today's hearing agenda, which is posted on the public notices page of the city's website, boston.gov. Members of the public will enter the virtual hearing as attendees, which means you will not see yourself on the screen, and you will be muted throughout unless administratively unmuted when asked to comment. Board members, applicants, and their attorneys or representatives will participate in the hearing as panelists, and they will appear alongside the presentation materials when speaking. Panelists are strongly encouraged to keep video on while presenting to the board. As with our in-person meetings, comments in support will be followed by comments in opposition. The order of comments is as follows: elected officials, representatives of elected officials, and members of the public. The chair may limit the number of people called upon to offer comment and the time for commenting as time constraint require. For that reason, the board prefers to hear from members of the public who are most impacted by a project, that is, those individuals who live closest to the project. If you wish to comment on an appeal, please click the raise hand button along the bottom of your screen in the Zoom webinar platform. Click it again and your hand should go down. When the host sees your hand, you will receive a request to unmute yourself. Select yes, and you should be able to talk. If you are connected to the hearing by telephone, please press *9 to raise and lower your hand. You must press *6 to unmute yourself after you receive the request from the host. Those called upon to comment will be asked to state their name and address first and then provide their comment. In the interest of time and to ensure that you have enough time to do so, please raise your hand as soon as Mr. Stembridge reads the address into the record. Do not raise your hand before the relevant address is called, or the meeting host will not know to call on you at the appropriate time. Mr. Stembridge.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Present.
Good evening, Ms. Wewell.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Present.
Good evening. The floor is yours, Mr. Stembridge.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As we start off with the hearing scheduled for 5 p.m., we'll start with case BOA 1606982 with the address of 147 West 8th Street. If the applicant and/or their representative is present, would they please explain the case to the board?
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Unfortunately, I'm having a little technical difficulties with my video, but I hope that you are able to hear me, and I will walk you through the presentation. Thank you. My name is Attorney Sean Regan with the business address of 10 Forbes Road, Braintree. Tonight, I am representing the project proponent, Jacob Carlin, for BOA 1606982. With us on the hearing is project architect Doug Stefanov. We are proposing an alteration and expansion of the existing single-family home at 147 West 8th Street, South Boston, which will remain a single-family home. We began outreach last November to individual abutters after receiving community feedback on the proposal, suggesting that the site was uniquely situated as an opportunity to create an affordable single family. Proponent Jacob Carlin voluntarily changed the project to address neighbors' concerns and minimize any potential impacts. Additionally, we held an abutter meeting through the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services on June 20th, 2024, and continued further communication with the local Cityside Neighborhood Association. The project before you is a result of that community outreach. It has been intentionally designed to attract a family to the neighborhood by incorporating a master suite with 3 smaller bedrooms and a unique open space on the roof with extended 4-foot solid parapets to eliminate noise and visibility impacts to the surrounding homes, and also to provide a sense of security for potential buyers such that their children playing on the roof will not be visible to the surrounding roof decks on the adjacent homes, as shown on the aerial photo on slide 7, or the second to last page of the presentation. In sum, the proposal is to convert the existing 2.5-story single family home to a 3-story single family home, which will remain below the maximum allowable height. The project does require relief for lot width, lot frontage, front yard, rear yard, and lot area. Of those, lot area, lot width, and lot frontage are all pre-existing nonconformities which are not being increased in this project. The 2 remaining, rear yard and front yard, are also pre-existing nonconformities, but they are being increased slightly here. The site has a very unique L shape, as you can see in that same aerial view. The parcel is set back significantly from the street and includes the bottom half of that driveway on the aerial photo where those 2 cars are parked in the shadowed area. The site shape is not common to the area, and these requests for relief are the minimum exceptions needed to make these reasonable improvements to the site. Importantly to the neighborhood, the project will maintain those 2 existing off-street parking spaces and also comes in significantly under the allowable FAR at 1.4. We believe this project will positively contribute to the neighborhood by providing a well-designed and affordable single-family home that aligns with the existing residential character of the area. At this point, I thank you for the opportunity to present to you and pause for any questions that either I or Doug may answer.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This petitioner has completed the ONS community process. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on June 20th, at which no concerns were raised. The applicant additionally reached out to the Cityside Neighborhood Association, which did not express any opposition to the proposal. That is the active civic group in this area. With that background, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, members of the board, Councilor Flynn's office. Councilor Flynn would like to go Councilor Flynn would like to be able to support this proposal as it is remaining single-family home with 2 parking spaces. However, the proposal includes a roof deck, which Councilor Flynn has a long-standing policy against due to the net impact on quality of life for neighbors, our seniors, persons with disabilities, and young families, both in the Cityside neighborhood and South Boston in general. Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
Okay, may I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge?
Yes.
Ms. Wewell?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Next, we have case DOA 1618828 with the address of 722A to 724A Sharman Avenue. If the applicant and or their representative is present, would they please explain the case to the board?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hi, I'm Adam Abdulmusawir. So I am the chef and owner of Soul on Sharman, which we are proposing to get a alternation to remove the proviso of a 36A to switch over to our name. And
I think that's it, right?
yeah, that's it.
Okay. Any
If you want
questions from the
pictures,
board?
I have pictures and support letters, but yeah,
It's,
I sent them over to sorry, I had already sent them over to the
Yep.
local neighborhood liaison, O'Connor.
no worries, no worries.
Okay.
It's straightforward.
Yeah.
May we have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office to defer to the judgment of this board. ONS hosted a abutters meeting on July 19th. There were no concerns raised from the community. A number of members of the neighborhood vocalized support for this proposal. There is no active civic in this area, so there's no weighing in from the civic. As I mentioned before, unaware of concerns, and we have letters in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Motion of approval?
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1607331 with the address of 34 Olmsted Street. If the applicant and or the representative is present, would they please explain to the board?
Sure. Hello. This is Dichuan Ye. I'm the owner of 34 Olmsted Street. So we're doing the renovation for this relatively old house. So we're trying to expand the living area to the attic. So as a result, that will trigger the relief of the floor area ratio. So our plan is to maintain the external of this house. There's no change. And we made the plan for the attic. So right now it's a storage space. We're trying to make it more livable to add 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom in the attic. Approved a plan by the architect and the structural engineer. So basically that's what we are planning to do. And thank you.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, can I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. At this time, the Mayor's Office has deferred to the judgment of this board. This proposal went through a lengthy community process, starting with an abutters meeting hosted by ONS on June 10th. We received a petition from 5 households on that street that were very much in support of this project. The applicant then went on to meet with the Eggleston Square Neighborhood Association on June 26th, and then on to the Jamaica Plain Neighborhood Council on July 10th. JPNC voted to support this proposal. Unaware of any concerns at this time. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alvin? Alvin, can you hear me? You're unmuted. Just state your name and address for the record.
Alvin Shiggs, are you here for 34 Olmsted? You may want to put something in the chat if you're here for that. Are there any other questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have a motion?
Put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Next, we have case BOA 1609099 with the address of 376 to 382 Warren Street. If the applicant and or their representatives present, would they please explain?
Good evening, Madam Chair and the board. My name is Royal Smith. I'm the owner of District 7 Cafe. Along with us today is the architect on the project, Ms. Patricia Fisher, in addition to the project manager, Leanna Blicker. On the corner of Maywood Street and Warren, we're looking to change an old vacant dentist office into a cafe space. I also operate District 7 Tavern at 380 Warren Street, which there'll be no changes. We're asking permission to revert this office to the dentist office to a cafe space. You can see here the existing plans as it sees right now. It's just a vacant space. Next slide. Next slide. What we're looking to do is convert the 376 entrance area to just a full flowing cafe space with 49 people capacity. On the corner side there where the where the corner of Maywood is. That'll be a seating area for patrons. Next slide. With ADA bathrooms and 2 bathrooms, one being ADA in the far corner with the full access from Maywood Street on the corner there. Next slide. We can go into the design slide. That's where we are. Any questions for the board?
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Oh, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Just curious, the space you'll be doing is, as you said, at the corner of Maywood and Warren. There are
Yes.
2 offices there, I believe.
I'm sorry?
Are there
Can you
2
speak up, Mr.
offices
Smith?
there? Are there 2 offices that you'll be working on, or just 1?
It's, it's one open space, but the way the building is designed, it kind of seems as 2. The building over the years, it's one long address. But it used to be 3 individual spaces, but it's now converted into 2 spaces, which the one address we'll be working on is 376.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. May I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. Some background information, the community process. ONS had hosted an abutters meeting on July 2nd. We're unaware of any specific concerns at this time. I know prior to that meeting, they had reached out and worked with the local neighborhood association, which is supportive of the business remaining in the community and saw this as a new opportunity to serve residents in this area. With that, we'll defer to the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Motion of approval?
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge?
Yes.
Ms. Wewell?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, the motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next, we have case BOA 1575999 with the address of 165 River Street. If the applicant and/or the representative is present, would they please explain to the board?
Good evening, all. My name is Mr. Alfred. I'm a French teacher, by the way. I have this project to add 2 rooms in my house using the deck. And I started that project since December 2023. And I went to the RPL on February 1st, 2024. And now, and they told me that it was what called the minimum size was 10 from the left, right. But when the house was built, I don't know, the minimum size maybe was 7. Okay. And I'm going to add the addition in the back of the house. As you can see, this is the addition going to be. Okay. And those are the zoning code, like about
Excuse me for a second. This is Stephanie. Are you sharing your screen?
Yes.
Hold on. Because ZBA staff has to share the screen, not you.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Victoria, go ahead and share your screen.
Yes. Okay, what you see in the back will be the addition. Okay, and the dimension supposed to be requires 10 feet from each side, but when the house was built, it was 7 feet. And I'm just doing the addition, just keep on going to the back. And the back front of the house is respected, And the only problem was about the two sides from left and right of the house. And I did the community project. I went to many houses to post, let them know about the project. And yeah.
Okay. Questions from the board? Hearing none, can I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. We had the applicant circulate a notice to abutters within 300 feet. Are unaware of any concerns from those abutters. And the applicant also reached out to the local civic association as well. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other raised hands?
No additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Put forward a motion of approval.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion carries. Good luck, sir.
Next, we have case BOA 1614614 with the address of 77 Cummins Highway. If the applicant and or their representative are present, will they please explain the case to the board?
Yes, good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board, Attorney Russell Chin Law Firm, Quincy, Massachusetts, here on behalf of your applicant, YC Inc., DBA Triple Eatery in Roslindale. Here before you, looking for a relief from the proviso against takeout dining at this restaurant.
Questions from the board? Hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office deferred to the judgment of this board. The applicant circulated a flyer to abutters within 300 feet. We're unaware of any concerns from those abutters. They also reached out to the West Village Neighborhood Association, which said that the applicant did not need to appear before them. That will defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. May I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion carries. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have case BOA 1576555 with the address of 33 Bexley Road. If the applicant and or their representative is present, will they please explain?
Hello, thank you for having me.
Please proceed, ma'am.
Thank you. Do you have the presentation? Thank you. So this is for our proposed solar pergola project that we'd like to add to our backyard. Quick intro about myself. I happen to be an energy consultant for commercial buildings, so I go to all the local Boston green building events, and myself and my family, we're excited to do our part to add some solar capacity to our home and some shading to our backyard. If you go to the next slide, please. So yeah, I'm a licensed professional engineer and energy consultant. Next slide. Motivated to help the planet. I'm glad in Boston we have a goal of net zero carbon emissions by 2050. Next slide, please. So we've contracted a professional solar installer, Great Sky Solar, as well as a pergola builder, Outdoor Personia. And we'd like to work with them to add some solar capacity to our backyard. Next slide, please. We did send the complete stamped electrical plans, but as you can see, with a lot of older homes, the challenge is that there isn't necessarily a lot of roof area area that's facing the optimal direction for solar generation. So we do propose to add some solar panels to our roof, but wanted to further increase our solar generation capacity by adding it to an additional solar shade in our backyard, which is to the left there, shown dimension with 6 extra panels. Next slide, please. These are the specifications for the pergola and the size of it, where the panels would be installed, and the two consultants are coordinating to make sure that all structural and our electrical safety measures are met, and working with Eversource as well. Eversource already approved the solar capacity. Just a quick picture of another, not our project, but a successful solar pergola to give an idea of what it would look like, that's bigger than what we proposed from the Outdoor Personia website. And I also wanted to share all the benefits the project would have to the city of Boston, not only helping us to get to net zero by 2050 for the whole city, but also reducing the strain on the city of Boston's electric grid, since the city is so strongly encouraging all residents and commercial properties as well to switch to efficient heat pump systems and move away from fossil fuel fired heating systems. But that requires significant electrical service upgrade costs, which I know are a big challenge to the city. So this project would help us do our part to slightly reduce those electrical service upgrades needed for the whole city. It supports these small businesses that are providing green building service. And it will also help our own home convert from our current gas-fired fossil fuel heating system to eventually electric heat pump systems, which we'd like to do while mass save and federal incentives are still available. And we also hope to inspire others in the community to see how they can maximize the solar generation opportunities that they might have on their own properties. As far as we've heard, we don't have any objections to the project, but I look forward to discussing any questions that the board might have.
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the board? Okay, hearing none, may I have public testimony?
Yes, Madam Chair, members of the board, Connor Newman with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This time, the Mayor's Office would like to defer to the judgment of this board. We had the applicant circulate a flyer to abutters within 300 feet. We're unaware of any concerns at this time. A rear abutter said they had no issues with the proposal when they reached out to our office. There's no active civic association for this area to weigh in on this proposal, but as mentioned, no concerns. With that, we'll defer to the board at this time. Thank you.
Thank you.
No additional raised hands, Madam Chair.
With that, may I have a motion?
Motion of approval?
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And next we have case BOA 1607521 with the address of 26 to 28 Raymond Street. If the applicant and or their representative are present, will they please explain the case to the board?
Hi, good evening. My name is Hazel Ryerson, and I'm the homeowner at 2826 Raymond Street, which is an existing two-family home on 2 floors with an unfinished attic. We are proposing to raise the roof 4.5 feet, maintain the existing slope of the roof, and oh dear, those are sideways. But if you go to the next page, the elevations are there, and add 2 dormers, one on each side, a gable dormer on the east and a shed dormer on the west. So the porches on the front of the house will remain the same as they are now. And really the only change that you'll see from the street side is that that triangle of the roof will lift up 4.5 feet. This is additional living space for my family. I have 2 kids, and we're currently living in one of the apartments that are each a two-bedroom apartment. So the house will continue as a 2-family with a 2-bedroom apartment on the first floor and a 3-bedroom apartment plus home offices as the second and third floor. Yeah, that's a little easier to see. That's the plot plan where you can see the proposed dormers shaded in the hatch there. Yeah. And then if you scroll to the end of the PDF, you'll see the existing elevations. I think they're the second to last page of the drawing set. So you'll be able to see that they're, yep. Thanks, sorry, those are sideways. Yeah, any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Any questions from the board? Hearing none, can I have public testimony?
Madam Chair, members of the board, Siggy Johnson with the Mayor's Office of Neighborhood Services. This petitioner has completed the ONS community process. Our office hosted an abutters meeting on July 16th at which no concerns were raised. We received 6 letters of support from abutters for this proposal. The petitioner additionally appeared at the Alston Civic Association, which is in support of the proposal, and requested a proviso that no building code relief be granted. With that background, we defer to the judgment of the board. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have one raised hand, Madam Chair. Anthony, I just unmuted you.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. Tony Disadoro, representing the Alston Civic Association. We would like to go on record in support.
Thank you. With that, may I have a motion?
Motion of approval?
May I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Stenbridge,
Yes.
Ms. Wewell,
Yes.
chair votes yes, motion carries. Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you.
And with that, I wish everyone a good night. Thank you. Thank you, Stephanie, and everyone from the office.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night, folks.